I did it.
You know what I love about that intro, you guys? There's Glenn.
What? Glenn,
welcome to Freedom Fam. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
And
well, we gotta have Illinois. We gotta have, and I took the S off. Did you see that? I took the S off.
I was gonna tell you about that, but I didn't want to
working on it.
So Glenn, Double N Glenn, if y'all don't know who he is, go find him. I think you still have a clapper, don't you? Clapper?
No, let's not. No,
we're not going to promote that.
Clapper's all done.
Oh, okay.
I haven't even been over there. Is it still going though? Like for real?
I guess people are still over there, but I don't know. I mean, when I exited at 123,000, I bowed out. So.
Well, I mean, that's okay. You're the king of the beards at this point.
There you go.
Do you straighten it? Is there, is it just perfect like that?
So I comb it daily.
Give it inspirational pep talks.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I used to.
And we're waiting. You are.
Yeah. Chris has the link. So I'll just go ahead and kind of intro this for you guys, kind of give you a
I just wanted to let them know that we do still have
so Chris Roper candidate. Chris Roper is a gubernatorial candidate that's running for Illinois. Great guy. I've grown to be pretty good friends with him through TikTok. He's a grassroots guy. He loves Illinois. He will be on tonight. I just got off his show. So I was on his show before this. So he's probably wrapping his up right now. But we're excited to have him on because there's a lot going on in Illinois. We brought Glenn on because I've been friends with Glenn for over a year at this point. And, he lives in Illinois. He knows what's going on. He also knows a little bit about Chris Roper and what he stands for. Look, we wanted to talk. I saw Rebel Foxes in here. I'm glad that we have Rebel in here in Texas. Yeah. Because these are people that are making differences in Illinois, like Rebel, rock star, right? Making moves in Illinois, like.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing. She invited me into this little Facebook group, so I could see some of the posts from like the parents about the schools, and this girl is fire. Yeah, everywhere that she goes, it's insane. She's just like, da, 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 da. Here's this.
And here's what's right, kind of the nice thing that's going on right now, which I believe a little bit of it is still political because midterms are coming up, but you're seeing a lot of these blue states dropping their mask mandates for schools. Mm-hmm. But I want and Rebel can back me on this. I want parents to know that, like, don't let that demean anything that you've already done. Yes, she is, Scott. Anything that you're doing or that you've done, or yes, you do. I'm sure you do. Because parents are making a difference, right? They're going to these schools. They're being loud. They're being obnoxious. Mama and Papa Bears are making their voices heard. And that's why you're now seeing the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Illinois schools that have dropped the mask mandates and made it optional, you're seeing some students in Illinois walk out of the classroom in protest saying, we're not doing this anymore.
Right.
Like, that's our future, guys. That is our future, like, men and women in politics. Like, those are our future activists. And that's a beautiful thing. And then you're seeing the negative side of it, which we'll talk about tonight, where I've seen...
We're going to bring Chris in because Christopher's here now. So let's go ahead and pop him on.
Hey, you guys. How you doing?
This is Kat, and I think you know Double N Glenn as well already, right?
I do know him. He's got a really sexy beard. I like that.
It's a nice beard.
Thank you.
So distracting. I get lost in it.
I know. I have some products
I'm jealous.
for you. Message me after the show. Yeah, Glenn?
And you
you
know,
guys
Ant
are
does have
funny.
some really good products. I've been seeing those. He's been showcasing them.
So
I'm
Chris,
jealous of you guys. I
thank you.
can't grow mine right now.
Well, that's okay. Chris, thank you for having me on your show before this show, and then thank you for coming on this show. Being from Illinois, you know that I have a lot of Illinois followers as well, and we have Glenn, who's an Illinois resident, and then we also have, I'm sure, a few more in the comment section, but we have a young lady out of Illinois who's been fighting for kids this entire time. Her name is Rebel Fox, so she'll probably be throwing a lot of questions out there for you. And we just wanted to give you a platform for people to know who you are. And thank you again for coming on.
Not a problem.
So without further ado, Kat, do you have any? Would you like to start off the? No, I'm just kidding. It's really not that serious, Chris.
No, it's not that serious.
I do this all the time. It's okay.
What are some things that you can tell us about you? Like, I feel like you get asked the same run-of-the-mill questions. Obviously, policy. Obviously, your grassroots. You know, so to me, like, what for you is the biggest trigger point for you? Like, what do you want fixed right now? Like, first weekend that you're gonna take care of?
Well, that is a very, very difficult question with Illinois. There's a lot.
There's so much.
There it is. Man, you could be busy for years, but I support term limits, so I can only do it for so long, right? So I got to lead by example. But you know, we have a lot of things, and really the biggest hot issue right now is mandates. Stop the mandates. It should always have been about freedom. It should be, this is what we know. This is what you could do, and we recommend you do it. You don't have to do it. It's clearly up to you. Just like we do with all the other, colds and, what is there, like 30 plus coronaviruses right now that we've been dealing with for
32,
decades.
I believe we're on now. 32, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been around forever. And I'm not saying it's not a thing, right? It is a thing. Right. Okay. But here's what what is a thing is freedom, and we're losing that thing. So we've got to stand up, and we honestly really need to make sure that our politicians, we're researching, making sure we know about them the best we can, and get good people in that will listen to we the people, do what they're supposed to do. In politics, you're supposed to serve. You're not supposed to point and tell people what to do. You can't do that. That is not how it was intended. One. Two, if it's really that darn easy to raise millions of dollars to make one person look good, why in the hell is it so hard? Why do we have so many people living on the streets? Why do we have so many people that need mental help and they can't get it? Because Illinois, we closed down all of our mental facilities, long terms. It just baffles my mind. There's so much going on in Illinois that I can't really honestly answer that question as what would be the first thing I do, because there's so many. But we've got to shore up our elections. We got to get people to trust the system again, the voting system. So why not start with a forensic audit? I think that's imperative across the whole country, is to clean up the books, get them to where they're square, that we know what's going on. We know that, cats aren't voting and dogs aren't voting, and et cetera, and so on, or dead people. And that's for all sides. And another thing is we need to get some unity back, man. We are losing each other. We have been divided so harshly over, I would say, the last at least 6 to 8 years.
So
it's sad.
So
it's sad.
Chris, we've had other supposed gubernatorial candidates on that talked about unity, right? Uniting two parties together or uniting both sides. So what are some things that you think would unite people? Like, what are some common ground issues in Illinois that you think people can, on both sides, can kind of back?
Well, I think I was thinking freedom was one of them.
Yeah.
It looks like we should, and we could, and we are. There is a movement starting of us coming together. And, look, we're never going to agree. All four of us in this room is not going to agree on every single thing. We're not going to do it. It's not possible, which is good. That's a good thing. That's how we grow. That's how we are, how America is great, is because of that very thing. But I think if we, freedom is one thing, and then, stop hating on each other. Nobody wants to be treated poorly, period. Everybody wants to be treated with dignity. If you don't, I mean, that's whatever. We don't need to talk about that right now. But the thing is we all want to be treated fairly, honestly, and with dignity and respect. So why can't we do that? And I think really the problem is social media. Social media is so easy to go in there and just do this or do this and say horrible things under a protection. You know, you're not saying it to people's faces. You know, I'm a Gen X. You know, I'm used to be going out and talking to people right to their face. And if you don't like somebody, you tell them, hey, I don't like you. And they say, hey, I don't like you. And you go, okay, well, let's go do something. Let's go play baseball or something, you know. But that's just what it was back then. Now it's totally different. And my kids, I have 6 kids, and you know, I hate seeing what they have to go through now. And it's 2 of them are adults. My oldest son, he was in the military. He was in the Army for about 6 years, and he decided he can't do it anymore. It's not the same, and I agree with him. It's our military is changing, and it's sad, so sad. You know, I'm an Army veteran.
Well, you bring up that you have 6 kids, and a big, like, I'm seeing. I mean, I'm not from Illinois. I'm up here in Michigan, and I'm actually fleeing Michigan for my life to run away to Texas in July. But I was recently added to a Facebook group in Oswego County.
Oswego,
yeah.
Okay, there it is. Have you seen what some of these school districts are doing with these kids? I mean, these kids are being suspended. They're having in-school suspensions. Like the acknowledgments that they're getting back from the school board are things that I'm sorry that your son is having to suffer the consequences of not wearing a mask. They have people collecting names of these students to put them on lists of, you know, who's wearing masks and who's not, and recess is taken away, and kids that are, I mean, they're segregating these kids in this school district, and this obviously is going to have a psychological effect on these kids. Like, what is something that you think that we can do going forward to help kind of mend what we've broken? Like, our kids are our most important thing. That's who we're leaving everything to, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that is really, honestly, there's so many things you could do. And what's the best thing to do? You know, only God knows that. But what we can do is to remind our students, hey, you know what? Do you want to be treated that way? Do you want to feel the same thing that they're feeling? Now, look, every school, I guarantee you, has a anti-bullying thing. I think Ant and I was talking about that on my show. There's anti-bullying. Well, what is the teachers allowing to have happen right now? I mean, I seen signs of a kid wearing a mask saying, "Take your mask off, murderer," or "Put a mask on, murderer." What the heck is that? I mean, haven't we learned anything?
Like the suicide rate for these kids. Yeah. I mean,
luckily my kids are very
so Chris, like, one of the disturbing things that I heard in one of the Facebook groups that I had today was a couple of the administrators from my school district was in this chat, and basically it's not making the news, but a teacher from, I believe, Friend High School was having relations and got arrested yesterday at the same time as all this mask fiasco was going on. Now that's being swept under the rug because of the mask mandate. Now, if it's strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, I don't care how many strikes a teacher has on them before they get X'd. I always thought it was like a zero tolerance policy.
It should be.
Not.
Yeah, no, it should be.
Tell you that it is, but it's not.
It's our kids, though. Man, we
one
thing
broke
you'll find out about me is,
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it did. Yeah. It broke them whether we like it or not. And it's kind of like, I feel like there's a group that wants to ignore that. And like, oh, we're going to make it better. We're going to make it. But it's like, we don't know what we've done to them. Like, we've dehumanized them. We've taken away facial expressions from them. Yep. And any psychologist will tell you that kids need that to thrive and to trust. And
well, even adults do, but we're talking about kids now. But and my kids, again, I think a lot of it has to do with parenting. A lot of it really, honestly, has to do with parenting. And unfortunately, now I'm not making excuses, but here in Illinois, our taxes are, I mean, when it rains, we get taxed. You know, basically, when we breathe, we get taxed. So it's forcing no family. It's forcing both parents to go out and work. So we've relied on schools to raise our kids. Now the schools know this, and now they're they're indoctrinating, and our government knows this as well, and they're doing the same thing. They are attacking our kids at such a more than they're attacking us, because they know we're going to put up a fight. Our kids, bless their souls and their hearts, they are just trying to become great people, and they need great role models, great leadership, great things to do to become great people. Go ahead, Ant, sorry.
No, you're good. So, Chris, how do you hold teachers accountable? How do you hold them accountable? Is that on a gubernatorial level? Can you hold teachers accountable? Can you fix the school districts, or is that more of on a federal level? I don't know. I'm asking these questions because I don't have kids in school, but I'm like mortified.
Yeah, I think really what it goes down to is there's the ISBE, and they control here in Illinois. I mean, you could ask Glenn about it. I'm sure he knows about that. So the GA would have to make something happen. Now, here's the thing: as a governor, using gubernatorial powers, I could talk to both sides and say, "Hey, look what you're doing to our kids," and use a little bit of. And I hate saying this, but I've been trained in psyops. I know how to talk to people and get them to see my side and the side of we the people, and maybe get it in their head, and eventually they walk away thinking it's their idea, and man, they are all in. They're just going crazy on it, and really it was their idea or your idea, but they took it as their own, and they let them do it. Let them have that. Let them have it. But they'll do it. And I think really we've got to stand up for our kids, and we've been seeing it really, really bad. Like, it's just right out in the open here the past 2+ years. I mean, it's been going on forever, but here really recently we've been seeing it happen. And then this pandemic that came through, it's really put it's really put a hamper, not even a hamper. It's really put our kids in a bad spot. And even my kids, and I started talking about that, parenting helps that. But even my kids, with good parenting, I think it's good parenting. They do great, but they still have issues. I actually my wife found it, which she's an amazing researcher, but she found where my kids, they don't have to wear masks because they're medically intolerant to the mask.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. All schools were supposed to offer it. They don't tell you about it. Certainly, they don't want to tell you about it. But if you know about it and you go get this form from the school and take it to the doctor, and then they, et cetera and so on, that's how my kids haven't had to wear masks. But since they've been in school, they've been looked at differently. They've had kids say, "You should put your mask on." Well, I don't have to wear a mask. And I told my kids what to do if that happens. Be polite and say, I can't wear masks. And just leave it at that. And I also warned the school superintendent or whatever, the boss, I said, "Hey, do not give my kids any medical anything unless it's just simple first aid. If you swab my kid, if you test my kid, if you even talk to him about that shot, you will not like me." And that's what we need to do as parents. We need to stand up, be strong, get out of our comfort zones, and fight for our kids. Damn, I mean, it's just, I can't.
So as a governor, is that so? If you were the governor of Illinois, is that a legislation that you would be able to push forward? Like, is that something that you can make a thing?
I think so. I think really, honestly, I wouldn't know really truly until I get in and get the Rockstar team together that we know all the rules, laws, and constitutions, and all the silly political crap.
Jargon,
but yeah, I think there is something we can do, and certainly I'll be fighting for it. Whether whatever is in my bounds of power, so to speak.
I mean, there has to be something as far as like taking away some of that power that we've allowed them to gain. They gained it somehow. I mean, I remember, for Christ's sake, my daughter couldn't even take Tylenol at school 2 years ago without a doctor signing off on over-the-counter Tylenol. So some kind of loophole was there that they used. I mean, because that's what we're living on now, is just loopholes. People are finding all these loopholes to go through. There has to be like legislation that we can put in place to prevent them from being able to do this again, because it wasn't there to begin with. And even if it was in there, we have a law against masks in Michigan, and we didn't even.
And on top of the pandemic, just to piggyback off of what Rebel Fox's last comment was, which it doesn't end with that, right? So it's like CRT and all this other stuff. Are there certain, yes, we aren't done after mass CRT and our finances, the BOE, we have tons of work to do. Exactly. So are these things that you as a governor can start chipping away at that JB Pritzker just, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's sucking on turkey legs. He's down in Florida,
His head's
enjoying
up
the
Biden's
beautiful
butt so far, he can't
sunshine.
breathe.
He's banging Gretschmer, Gretcher, whatever your governor is. I don't know what Pritzker's doing, but he definitely shouldn't be telling our kids what health is because I mean,
certainly not.
he's morbidly obese. So like these are things that you could chip away at, right?
Yeah, I certainly think there is things that we can do. And look, I don't want to say that I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, because I don't know yet. I have an idea. But once I get in there, I will promise this. I will fight to get rid of CRT. I think that is absolutely absurd. We cannot be teaching people that because of the color of their skin, they're a bad person. No way, no how. Get it the hell out of here. It does not belong here. That was our history, and we should have learned from that. I did, certainly. And tearing all these damn statues down that would remind us of things. What are they doing? Well, they're making it so history will definitely repeat itself. And if you look really, and I want to kind of get off on the side note, what happened in the late 30s, early 40s in Germany? That's really essentially what's happening right now in the United States, in the world. They're saying you have to get a vaccine, you have to do this, you have to. Come on, now we're gonna have to get on the train soon, or what?
Yeah.
Where does it stop? So I will back to this. I will be fighting for our kids. I will be getting rid of this CRT. I don't care what it takes. I will figure it out. And I will put this rock star team together. That way we have what I like to call big brains, that they know how to work this system to make sure that we can get rid of that. We don't need to be teaching our kids, again, the color of their skin makes them a bad person. I think we're well past that. My kids don't care if you're purple. They don't care. If you treat them good, they're going to treat you good. That's just how they're raised. And most people are that way. And if you are a racist, then you are an asshat. You need to get the hell out of here. Period. Yeah, so, it's just too simple. And the same with the sex ed thing. Oh, this K through 12. Oh my God, I don't even want to get on this, but we're going to do it. This is the most disgusting thing I have ever seen in my life. It's pornography. It's grooming our children. We put people in prison that do this right now. But we're going to allow a teacher that gets one background check when they first start, and that's it. And look at how many, God bless our teachers. Thank you for doing that job. As long as you're teaching properly, reading, writing, and arithmetic, stay in your lane. Let parents stay in theirs. Mm-hmm. You know, we need to just continue that. That needs to get back into play. And again, I blame taxes for that and separating the family. But we're going to be lowering the taxes too in a very responsible way to get them lower across our board, not just some taxes, not some groups. The whole thing. We need to get rid of some of these sin taxes as well, which I don't get how some of our officials think that if you raise taxes, you'll make more money. No, actually, we lost 125,000 Illinoisans last year because of the mandates. No, they're not, let alone the taxes. Now, if we don't stop, we're on pace to lose double that this coming year.
Glenn,
so where the taxes going to go?
Were you trying to ask them?
So at the time, right now, we're in the middle of probably the highest tax rate ever in Illinois. So I know that there's been talks before in other states, but hopefully we can do it in Illinois. Just have a flat tax and be done with the ups and downs of different counties. And because you go to Cook County, you're at 12, 13, 14%. Right. You go out to another county, they're at like 9%. And then it's overall across, it should be across the board as a flat tax. So let's say it's 7% just to even it out. So then they'll have that even kill instead of people going to different suburbs just to get cigarettes or just to go get gas or just to go get something else that's going to be a few cents cheaper. They're spending actually more money in gas, I think, now to get to that county to then spend the money anyway. But
yeah, so what I want to do with that is there's a couple of things, and again, I want to get the big brains together. But I think it was Mike Huckabee talked about it when he was running for president, and that is no tax. You just pay tax on things you buy. That way, if you're there illegally, you're still paying taxes. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. But like down in Florida, my parents, I enjoy it down there. The taxes are great down there, and especially food. There's no tax. It's pretty cool. At least it was then. I don't know if it's still that way, but I would assume it is. Yeah. So there's a number of things we could do, I think, with that, Glenn, and I think you're on a a point there because we need to fix this. This is crazy. Like if you look at our sin taxes alone, my God, where's that money going? And look at our marijuana tax. 39% is the tax on marijuana. Now, tell me, how is that going to keep people continuing to buy?
Now, do you guys have a differential between medical and recreational, or are you guys just rec?
I think there's a separation. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Because the taxation on the medical should be like significant.
Do you know how much money?
I heard.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is here in Michigan.
Yeah,
I
don't know for sure.
Day one of legalization in Illinois of marijuana made millions of dollars, and within the first day, Kat, and Illinoisans were like, "Where the money at?" Because I just lost 4 tires on a pothole.
Right. What are they doing with the money? Because it's an amazing thing for a state when a state does look at it. If you look at it like on a business model. And not only that, but your crime rates start to also kind of lower when you legalize marijuana, and a lot of people don't see that.
If it's attainable, if you're paying 39% tax on it, it's not attainable.
It's not attainable.
It's way cheaper to go out and buy it off the street. Well, one, that's illegal. You can't do that.
To go get drunk, right? Or just to go get drunk and drive around, or they make it so easy to go to the bar and get drunk, which isn't really helping the state in any way, shape, or form.
No.
But then
to each their own, but I think marijuana it's out of your system way quicker. And for a lot of people, it doesn't really impair them that much. Now, I'm not saying go out and drive when you're high. Don't do that.
No,
but I'm just saying it doesn't stay in your system as long, and et cetera. It doesn't affect you as long. The point on that is, and you guys kind of brought that up, is the taxes, 39% of it. Okay, so now they're still going to be going out and buying on the streets because it's way cheaper. So lower the damn tax down. Okay. 3/4 of that 39%, you can't find it. It's gone. I know where it's at. I mean, we have good ideas.
I do too.
There's some really fat pockets in Illinois. And
which
it's not us. It's not we the people.
It leads you like, what is your feeling? You're on it. I mean, because we're all people here, right? We all got bills to pay. We've all got kids to feed. We've all got the things. Right. What's your honest opinion on lobbying?
I don't think there shouldn't be any lobbying. Not honestly, because if you're going to do that, you might as well wear a patch just like the race cars do. You're sponsored by such and such. And then we know, okay, that person, we need to look at such and such and see what they're really all about, because they're going to be changing our politicians' mind on things. He's going to be doing stuff to help them, or she. I think we just get the hell out of there. But honestly, we need election reform badly. And I kind of mentioned that. If it's so easy to raise millions of dollars to make one person look good, what the heck is going on with this country then? I mean, if it's that easy, and let's make things make sense. Our forefathers said, hey, you know what? You go in, you serve. You stop what you're doing. You go in. If you get elected, you serve your term and get the heck out. And okay, so I get it. Some people, they have businesses and et cetera and so on. So, you're giving up a lot to go do this, right? But that's why they call it serving. But if we have term limits, now here's a couple things. When this pension thing, Illinois pensions are in danger of being gone. One, we're not taking it away from the workers, the state workers. No, we're not. They earned that. That's theirs. Now, here's the other thing: you can't go off of the here and now and past. You can't change that, but you could change the right now and future. So, and when I talk about that, I talk about politicians, Illinois politicians. I would be the first to lead that charge and say, hey, you know what? I don't want a pension. And I thought of 2 ideas. Now, and they're really, I think they're going to do well. But, again, big brains will make sure that we do it right. Starting with, and only with, the politicians. Term limits. If they agree to term limits, then guess what? You come in and you serve your term limit, whatever it be, 2 4-year things or whatever it is. If you have 8 years in serving your state, then when you get out, you can get 8 years of pension, period. Now, that's one option. Another option is, again, term limits, but 401k type system, the thrift savings plan, TSP. That's what our military uses. And we certainly think it's good enough for our military. So it better be dang good enough for our politicians. What makes them any better?
What about just slashing state pensions?
Well, we can't slash state pensions for the workers. Now, we do need to really look into it, because there's some categories of workers that are getting paid not enough for what they do. And then there's some that are getting paid way too much. And why the hell does it cost $500 for a hammer? I mean, come on. There's fraud, waste, and abuse happening across the board. We got to look into that. And that's one of the things too. One of the biggest things is, besides our kids is in taxes and all that, corruption. I am highly trained and specialized in fighting corruption. I am a former law enforcement officer. I'm an Army veteran. I am not afraid. I'm not a millionaire. And I talked about this a lot too. There's 93% of us are not millionaires in Illinois. 7% are millionaires or above. We need to start bringing in 93% of us into office. And then that's where I fall. I don't have millions of dollars to lose. Guess when you're fighting crime, what is the very first thing they're going to attack? They're going to attack your money. They're going to hurt you hard. And then if they don't do that, then they're going to go after your family and you. Well, okay, I'm ready for that. I definitely support 2A. I'm a very big 2A guy. I'm going to be fighting for that for here in Illinois and avoid that void card because that's trash. That's unconstitutional. But
I'm glad you brought that up. Are you thinking that you could go to a constitutional carry?
That's what I'm going to be fighting for. It's going to be a rough hill to climb, but I think we can put some pressure.
So one, that would cut down on a lot of people going to jail for carrying a weapon in the city of Chicago.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about
cut down crime.
You talked about getting rid of all the mental health that we got rid of years ago, and now the biggest mental health facility is actually Cook County Jail.
Right,
so,
and it shouldn't be that way.
No,
that's horrible.
No, it shouldn't. I know. I have a friend of mine that did 2 years, and he got caught on a gun charge, and it wasn't even. It was he got pulled over. He didn't have a FOID card. Boom, gone.
Wait,
that
what?
FOID card is unconstitutional.
FOID card is a card that you need to go ahead.
No, it's just a firearms identification, whatever ID.
So like conceal carry, like we have that here where you have to have like your conceal carry. Like we're an open carry state, but we have to have to conceal it. You have to have.
We are a don't carry anything because you're a loser state. That's what we have. But you can get this.
Y'all can't even like open carry there.
No.
It's not an open carry; it's a concealed carry, and you have to go through specialized training. Unless you have military training, then you only have to go through half that training. So,
but I did both. Because I just wanted to see what it was like to go through the whole program.
Yeah.
With the crime rate in Chicago, you make it that hard for people to buy guns to defend them.
That's always
they
the
make
highest crime rate and the hardest place to have a gun. That's what the argument has been this whole time.
But the easiest
I had no idea it was like that.
Easiest to get on the street.
Yeah. And FOID cards cost money too, by the way.
Yep.
And the process to get the FOID card, it takes. I think my dad just got his, and we did it like a year ago. Like now because of COVID, which I don't know what the fuck these people are that there's kind of COVID. Well, okay, bitch.
That's my excuse for everything around the house lately, though. Like, why didn't you make dinner due to COVID-19?
Due to COVID-19, your wait times could be longer. Please hold. Due
to my declining due to my declining mental health from COVID.
Yeah. But you know what? If this was open carry here, can you picture yourself as a criminal, right? And if I'm looking over casing people out and I see all these very safe holsters with holstered firearms, I look around and I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna touch that person because they're probably gonna shoot me. Nope. It's really simple. I mean, come on. Look at all these other states that have open carry. The crime isn't that bad. Right? I mean, it's bad in other areas, especially, but it's not in violent crimes like Chicago. Chicago is, I feel so bad for Chicagoans. They can't go anywhere without fearing for their life or their kids' life or their family's life. And this is America. This is not Iraq. We shouldn't have to be putting up with that. It's not Afghanistan. Come on.
So when we had our first our president from here, Barack Obama, he did zero for the city of Chicago when it came to crime.
Right.
Zero. It's almost like it was a setup just to make sure Chicago is the worst city ever. I guess that makes money for politicians.
Oh, I'm sure it does. And
at least we're building a library.
City ever done? Well, I guess because you would get more federal funding. You would get more funding to clean it up, and then if you're not cleaning it up, oh my God, it's all so gross. It's just so gross.
It's corrupt. It's so corrupt in Chicago. It's bad news.
And that's why I think that like we just the grassroots movements and like those are the ones that we have to pay attention to. And like once again, Tex is not here, so I gotta do him right. We need to concentrate on 2022. Like this is going to be so critically important. Screw 2024. Like why we talking about that
in 2020? Really, honestly,
for Trump, guys.
Yeah, like stop with the just go to a Trump concert or and vote. Like go to all the Trump concerts, get jacked up, get woo-hoo. Like cool. But go show up in 2022 because
or go to that concert, but then go and see if you're in Illinois, go figure out how you're going to go see where Chris Roper's going to be. If you're in Texas, go check out Chad Prather. If you're in awesome. Do your thing. Like if you're in Michigan, see what's up with Ryan Kelly. Like, do all these things, right? Do all the things.
Do all the things.
So that you don't have to be like disappointed. You're like, well, all I did was wait for Trump.
Well, because
and it's fine. Wait for Trump. But
during the pandemic, that like Trump had no control. When we wanted him to send in troops to stop the riots, was he able to do it? No, because he didn't have like his super friends, right? Like you got Batman. But we want him to have all these little super friends too, because without the super friends, that man ain't doing shit, guys. But
look at all the governors that just said basically flipped him off.
Oh yeah, I mean we were locked down so hard up here. It was illegal in my state to buy seeds. I couldn't buy seeds.
Dude, we were all freaking out about that when we heard you guys couldn't even do home improvements.
Yeah. All of our home improvement sections were closed. I have a friend that was fined $1,000 for buying paint, because it was illegal at the time.
Welcome to America.
So that started off when that kicked off in Michigan. I told my wife, I'm like, we're going to Home Depot right now, and I bought like $70 worth of seeds. No joke.
It scared the shit out of me when they took that away because my brain went crazy. Like, whoa, what are you planning on doing to us if I can't grow my own food?
Right.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, here we are. We're in a shortage.
Full of seeds now. Like that I
shortage.
No, but they're blaming the truckers in Canada for that, right? It's the truckers.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, they're actually they're not just in Canada anymore.
Right. That's awesome.
They just arrived in my state. They shut down the bridge going to Canada. And there's a slew of them. I got an aerial view. I'll throw it up on my TikTok later. But I mean, they're already swarming Michigan. It's going to be hard to get around.
Amazing. I was hoping that the United States, us Americans, would stand up. Who would have thought that Canada, the lovable Canadians, would be the ones that are getting up in people's faces and saying F off?
Me and Tex said that, like, we were all waiting for like the event, right? Like the pop, what was gonna get everybody set off. And I'm like, Canada, really? Right. Plot twist. Didn't see that one coming.
God bless our freedom lovers in Canada.
But could you imagine if they were armed?
Oh, yeah, but they're what are they calling them now? They're calling them racists and insurrectionists now. They're insurrectionists.
The insurrection has spread to Canada now.
Oh goodness! What will they stop at, man? What will they?
Nothing. They're arresting people bringing fuel.
Yeah.
So
a preacher just got arrested. Yeah.
For doing what?
I saw that on TikTok. I'm not sure. They said that they had one of their police units were sitting outside in an unmarked van and doing surveillance, and apparently he was helping the convoy, so he got in trouble, got arrested. Yeah, it's a big thing.
This is crazy.
It was in Calgary as well.
So Gallagher just put out a video saying that there was a bunch of
like watermelon Gallagher.
No, Gallagher.
No, he's a TikTok. He's good.
TikTok.
Yeah, Gallagher
really was a Canadian.
Okay.
Anyways, so Gallagher was like, "Hey, look." Gallagher said that there was all the cell towers in Ottawa are now down.
I wouldn't doubt it. They probably shut them down.
They pushed the button and they all went off.
Yeah.
So there's no communications out of Ottawa right now unless someone's going out of Ottawa to post a video.
And they're also supposed to be bringing the child protection services or whatever in, and because a lot of them have their kids with them.
The funny thing is they cannot shut down the CBs.
Right. No, you can't do that. I mean, you can't. Maybe you get some.
Is our government friends with North Korea and China or something?
They have.
They're in bed.
Welcome to the show.
It's almost like we're taking it out of their book.
Yep.
I mean, we're taking it out of somebody's book. I mean, I don't want to go there because, like, you know, for conservatives, you know, it's like the ongoing joke that everything's Nazi Germany. But I feel like we've said it so many times in the past, and it sucks that we've used that comparison for other things. True. Because now that we're like, I got mad when people were saying it in the beginning, and now I'm like, hey guys, yeah, like this kind of, we're literally throwing people into vans, you know, and we're arresting, we're taking away their children, we're taking away their livelihoods. I mean, you have people on TikTok that dedicate their entire lives to destroying the livelihood of anybody with a differing opinion.
Yep.
And nobody cares anymore. Like, humanity is absolutely gone. And like, how do you even attempt to come back from that?
Well, that's right. I mean, they're wishing death upon people who are not vaccinated. Like,
you can't go to the hospital because you get a vaccine. Well, first of all, it's not a vaccine. It's a shot.
It's a shot.
It doesn't meet the markers as a vaccine. It is not a shot. It's just like a flu shot.
Well,
actually,
I would rather get a flu shot than it does, right?
Well, they're trying to change it, right? So if it doesn't fit our narrative, we'll change the definitions.
Oh, that controls the definition. It's pretty easy to flip it around.
Goodness. I mean, this is really like I say this all the time. I pinch myself daily. This has got to be a bad dream.
Getting back to like Illinois issues.
Yeah.
So there's another issue that I've been worried about and thinking about for like a very long time. And that's the toll roads. Believe it or not. The expressways, you have to have an I-Pass or it costs you double. Now that's a squeeze on the people, right? So they're essentially saying we have a monopoly on you, and we know it.
Yep. Yeah.
So
and
we need to open that up to more private sector or even a public sector, so they have some kind of competition, so that prices come down on our toll roads.
They don't want prices to go down. You know, the toll roads in Illinois. Sorry, Chris. You know, the toll roads were supposed to be temporary. I think it was like in the
from the 80s. They were supposed to get taken out in 88.
Thank you.
Yeah, but see, then I heard that we were running into some financial troubles, so we sold something to the Chinese, some Chinese company, and now apparently the China owns our toll roads. They get the money from it. I don't know how true that is. But it wouldn't surprise me at all. Not at all. And that's the other thing is I don't know on that one. That one I'd have to find out with the big brains, because you know, if China, a company owns those, then, you know, one, that's bad. And how do we get out of that?
How does that work then? You guys have to pay every single time.
Oh, yeah.
Or
I think that was for the Skyway. I want to say that was for the Skyway, though. But regardless.
I don't know. I don't know on that one. I've heard a few different stories, and all of them really don't make any sense to me. It's like, really?
Do y'all not have toll roads in Michigan?
I don't think so. I've been in Michigan quite a bit.
No, we don't have toll roads, and we can also open carry. Like I'm just shocked. I didn't know that it was like that in Chicago, and like I didn't realize how hard it was to
all of Illinois
legally purchase a gun in Chicago.
Yeah, it's all of Illinois.
Yeah.
And Chicago's worse than south and north of Illinois. I mean, Chicago's just in the little corner, right? And that's way worse gun control wise than the rest of the state. But they're trying, you know, because it's Chicago, they think that, well, it's Chicago, so whatever Chicago wants, that's what the whole state's going to do. It's totally different everywhere else in the whole state than Chicago. You know, God bless Chicago. Chicago is a beautiful city.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And we've invested, right. We've invested billions of dollars into that city, and we can't get rid of it. But what we can do is we can clean up the corruption. Just send me in. Just give me 4 years. Give me 4 years to kick corruption's ass. I don't care. I'm not there to make any friends. I don't care if it's Republican, Libertarian, Democrat. I don't care what political party they're with. If they're corrupt, and I'm kicking their ass, and I'm going to make sure it sticks.
You know, and I want to just to let all of our viewers know too, like when he says I'm going to get with the big guys or the big brains or whatever, we've heard other candidates that have been on say this before, and this is kind of like a little piece of like anybody who's anybody grassroots should and can run, even if you don't know what you're doing right off the bat. You just have to go in like knowing what you want to tackle, and then you're going to get your team that's going to be like, okay, let me show you how to tackle that. Because
Absolutely.
That's a fear, and I'll be honest, that's a fear of mine. People are like, please run for local in Florida. Please run. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, I have no idea. But, you know, there's ways. Where there's a will, there's a way. Like, there's going to be, and that's when, so with Chris, thank you, because when you keep saying that, like, I want people to understand, like, that's what that means, that he's going to go with these ideas, what he wants to fix, and then there's going to be a team behind him that's going to be like, great, this is what you want to do? Awesome, let's attack it.
Yeah, because you're only as good as your weakest link. Yeah, oh no, it takes more than one person. And that's why I say I put a rock star team together, somebody that knows this, knows that, knows this, and can tell me, hey, because I can go up to him and be like, I want to make sure we do this right here. And then they can say, well, yeah, we can do that. Let's do it. Or, sir, we can't do that. Well, first, don't call me sir. Just call me Chris. Okay, why can't we? Well, what if we did this? Let's think outside the box. What if we did that? You know, and they can tell me those answers, and then we can go from there. You know, that's what we got to do. And that's they have made it so almost impossible for we the people to run for office in every single state. Why? Probably because they want to keep their people in office, and they want to make it look like it is the most hardest job to do ever. You're so peasants, you can't do this job. Only we can do this job, okay? Okay, you just go play now, all right? No, F you. We the people are standing up, and we the people are running for office. Once you start digging into it, it's not that hard. It really is not. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be a politician. I hate that word. Ugh. I'll never want to be. They'll call me one.
Let's not tiptoe around the subject there.
Sure.
Michael Madigan taught everybody how to be corrupt as they can be, and how to
really
redo the lines. So, you know, for the voters. Mm-hmm. So, if you're in a certain district, you can restructure your district in a way that you win all the time.
Look at this crappy maps that they just brought out.
Isn't that crazy?
Man, first of all, if you use common sense, you look at the map, you're like, how in the hell is somebody going to be able to do this in Illinois? We're a long state. It takes, 8 hours-ish to get from tip to tip, north to south? I mean, and some of these people are like just going, oh my goodness, it's atrocious. All it is, it's there to keep Democrats in power. That's all it is.
So Chris,
and I'm not done with Madigan yet either.
One second. So Leslie, I can tell you what sets him apart real quick, only from somebody who has tried to reach out to Bailey plenty of times as we the people, as a person, to come on and talk to other people. He didn't reach back. Chris is a grassroots guy. He wants to talk to the people. So that right off the bat for me, bravo for Chris. And Tex will tell you the same thing. If I reach out to a candidate and they never reach back to me, that's already a red flag. Mm-hmm. So sorry, Bailey, I've reached out to you 100 times. Like, if you have your personal cell phone number and you've never reached back, baby. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. And I'll never change that. And that is a good point. So many of our politicians, they're trained. They're trained by our own party, how to manipulate votes, how to play for the camera, what words to say, what words not to say. It's crazy. I see these guys behind the scenes, and I'm still running for governor. I'm still in the gubernatorial race. Why? Because I don't trust any of them. None of them. So there is one, Max Solomon. He's not a bad dude. I think I could get behind him. Other than that, I don't trust any of them. So I'm going to continue to run as a nobody. I'm a nobody. I'm just a guy. And I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to quit. These guys, they talky. One, I'm not going to name drop yet because it's not close enough, but I will. I promise. They say that I'm playing dirty. You wait until you see a former law enforcement Army veteran play dirty. All right, brah. All right.
What was your moment though? Like, what was I'm running? Like, what was that snap that happened? Oh,
he froze.
Oh no, we're having technical difficulties.
Oh no.
That's okay. It'll probably come back in. Park bench for Chris. Definitely like the Gene Ho park bench.
Yeah, and once Chris comes
there.
back up, and I'm sure it's just like a connection issue.
Yep,
There he is.
Back.
There he is.
So with that moment when I was like, I knew the thing, it didn't happen over a moment. It happened over at least a couple weeks. I guess there was a moment though. I just felt like, I'm a Christian guy. I'm born again, and I'm not going to sit and throw my Bible at people and bounce it off their heads. I'm not going to do that. I'm me, you're you, and you just do you, and I'll do me. But I just felt like God was saying, you need to run for governor. And the weird thing, I thought the governor, it's a joke. It's a damn joke. Governor is like, I don't want that. Of course I thought about running for president. Who don't, right? But I just felt like God kept pushing me to that. Right. I probably will, just so you know.
I just like talking shit on the internet.
I do too. And we'll get to a second. But so he just kept pushing on me, and I'm like, I don't know if you're Christian, you probably understand what I'm talking about. And he won't leave you alone. It's like, okay, stop. And no, I don't want to do this. And then finally I was like, all right, fine. I'll talk to my wife about it. And she's like, no way, no how, no way, no. I said, how about I just pray about it, and then if it continues to go, I'll just tell you what's going on. Okay. Well, finally it just kept going, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But guess what? You're gonna have to help me because I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, then things just keep happening, but it just keeps happening, and everything's falling in place. And as long as I continue to walk in his foot, then his will be done. Whether he wants me to be governor or not, no. All I know is I'm going to continue to fight, and I will never quit. If I'm not governor, we'll talk about that. I'm not done. I'm right here, and I can be whatever I got to be. I could take this little mask off and talk real, just like I am here. I could talk even more real. Basically, when you're running for office, be a little bit careful. But I'm not a politician, so you could ask me about abortions. You know what? If there's a pregnancy test and it says you're pregnant, that's a baby. Leave it the hell alone. That's my stance on abortions. There should be none at all. Period. So
how can we get more involved with your campaign specifically? Like, how can people who are watching right now? Obviously your TikTok. You do have a TikTok.
Yeah, I do have a TikTok.
And Chris, people do want to help you. Like, Rebel is great because she will help you. There he is. Rebel is great too. Like, I would connect with her because she'll literally help run a rally for you.
Yeah, and she's given me permission to go ahead and give you her contact info. She's very, very involved with local rallies and school boards, and she's a little rock star down there for sure. Amazing.
I love rock stars.
She's.
I think both. Wait, this side. Both these guys have my number, my person. So I give you guys permission to give it to her. Yeah, it's hard to do these.
See, I don't know. To me, I'm in the top left, but they're always opposite to everybody.
You're top left. Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to help, you can always go to my TikTok, which is real_Chris Roper. And then I'm on Facebook. Just look up my name, Christopher J. Roper or Chris Roper. The best thing to do, and just tell everybody, although TikTok's not on there yet, because I just started TikTok. But if you go to ChristopherJRoper.org, just like my name is down there, put it all together, take the dot out, put .org at the end. Boom! It'll take you everywhere except I'll get TikTok on there because honestly, I wasn't going to do TikTok, and then people were like, "Roper, you got to go over to TikTok." A huge conservative groups out there all over. Like, really, it's TikTok. So I kind of for a while, and then finally I just did it, and I'm glad I did. Man, it's you guys. There's just so many great patriots.
It's a cool community.
Oh, it is. It's amazing. And that guy right there, that sexy mofo right there too. Or not, and you, Glenn, okay, but I'm talking about it right now. Man, no, it's great. It's great. So go to ChristopherJRoper.org, and then again, these two guys have my numbers. So they'll give it out, and you can hand it out to.
So Chris, with your TikTok, I remember when I came across your TikTok, it was only a couple hundred people strong, and I did a video, and then you reached out, and we talked.
Say less.
So, yeah, say less. So, people that are on TikTok, you can go to his link tree, and everything's in his link tree. Like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Everything's in your link tree. So that's the easiest way. If you're on TikTok and you're watching this right now from your little YouTube, and then you're doing your TikTok, go to his link tree. It's the best.
So, and real quick, I just wanted to bring up.
I'll go ahead and I'll pull it. It'll be in my bio as well. I'll pull it and I'll stick it in my bio as well for everybody.
I wanted to pull up a comment that somebody had asked: Does out of state support really help? I'm going to say that absolutely 100%. So I have candidates. Y'all know who I back in Texas, who I've backed in Michigan, Illinois. Even though I'm a Floridian now, it's so weird to say because I was born and raised in Illinois. But your voice and your support for candidates in those states, we all have people that live in those states that are either follow us or friends with us. And they're like, who do I vote for? And you're like, wait a minute, you're in Illinois. You've got to look into Christopher Robo. Wait a minute, you're in Texas. Look into Chad Prather. Wait, you're in Michigan. You've got to look into Ryan Kelly. Like, we back people because these are real, like, these people that we're backing are we the people. Like, the reason why I back Chris is because he served this country. He wants to serve this country again. He's an American that is your neighbor, where he'll be like, dude, I freaking love you. I love your TikToks. Like, I like talking to you. I like texting you. Like, that's who you want. You don't want a JB Pritzker. You don't want a Gretsch. You don't want these things. You don't want Abbott. I mean, if I've learned anything from I've learned a lot from Texas. A lot of these policies, you guys, that these conservatives have in place, it's all masked by all these little things that are not so conservative. But guess who they're making happy? The liberal agenda. And they're putting that money in their pockets, your money in the pockets. And they're like, but I'm a conservative. Look what I did. I will say the only person that I don't think does that really is Ron DeSantis. And that's because he's up front. He's out there every freaking day. And he calls people out loud, like every day on the news. He's like, stop, that's not what happened. And I'm like, ooh, like that's what we need. Like people need that. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Well, to that point, I think that we have a great ally in Adam Kitzinger, who never would sell out the conservative movement at all.
What did you say? I was reading comments.
I just choked on air. Adam Kinzinger is a...
I knew you would.
Oh, God! What a drama queen!
Young children and people that don't like to hear bad words, never mind. I'm not going to do it. Adam Kinzinger is a bad feller.
He's a bad feller. He's not a good human being, that one. Not a good human being, that one.
No. He's masked up pretty bad.
Adam,
sorry. I was having an Adam flashback.
So, I guess we need to give a round of applause to the Naperville students that walked out of school today.
Absolutely. Yes.
And
that gets me, man. I cry when I see those. When I see the kids doing it.
Did you see that student from, I don't know what state it was, but he was talking to kids. He's like, we don't want to be violent. We're just done. This is not about politics. We are done. We want to go back to, like, you guys, that is the future leaders. Like, oh my God, I was so worried for a minute. I was so worried. I was like, oh, I hope that I'm decrepit in 20 years so I don't see these liberal children monsters lead the country. But there are patriot kids out there and that love America and they were raised right. You're looking at people here that have children that are American loving patriots, and we are the change. We're on the right side of history, you guys. When people tell you that we're not, don't you want to be on the right side of history? We are on the right side of history, girl. Sit down.
Yep.
Sit
we
down.
all are. Well, on that note, Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Unfortunately, come to the end.
Well, I would be more than happy to come back. You guys are awesome. You're just
Yeah,
like me.
no,
We're
we'd love
like
to
each
have
other.
that.
Yeah,
You're
Chris and
awesome.
Glenn, stick around for a couple minutes after we stop recording so we can just chat for a minute.
Yeah, and then I can get you the info. And then for all of you watching, we are going to give you a different outro today because I will be premiering my new podcast, which is a spinoff from this podcast. It will be streamed from this channel. We are going to be starting it next week. It is called Cat's Chaos Corner. It's an anything goes, but it's more around conservative women is kind of what we're trying to keep it to. Sorry, boys. Boys will be on, but not as much. So we're going to play that outro for you guys, and then we will be back on Thursday. Aunt, what are we doing Thursday?
Thursday, we have our some Canadian convoy guys that are on the ground.
Possibly two if communications haven't been fully cut, right?
Yeah.
That makes me nervous.
So we're super excited.
One from the border, and then one from where? What was it? Was it Ottawa?
Yeah, one's from Ottawa, one's from the border. So we'll have them. They're boots on the ground. They're going to be coming on the podcast. It's going to be super cool. I'm super excited.
Yep.
Also, for anybody that will be that's near Florida State University, there's like a clicking. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is either.
Sounds like a dog chewing on a bone.
No, it just started. It's not too bad though.
Okay, real quick. February 17th, I will be part of Turning Point USA and Speakers Without Fear. I'll be one of their panel speakers they're one of their keynote speakers and panel at Florida State University on February 17th. So I'm super excited about that.
I'm so proud of you.
Because it's a Turning Point USA event. It's a Speakers Without Fear event. So I'm super excited. Hopefully, I might become an ambassador for Turning Point USA, which means I will be boots on the ground at all of our Turning Point events. So thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. So if you're in that area on February 17th, I believe it's an open event at Florida State University. Flyer to follow.
Awesome. All right. Well, Glenn, thank you for. Oh, I removed you instead of unmuting you. Thank you for being a representative for the great state of Illinois today on our show. And we will see you guys next week. So now I'm going to show them my intro. Okay.
Thank you.
Everybody say bye. Thank you.
Ooh,
We're still okay. Bye.